to Yirara.
Pachi, and good afternoon from the front of our beautiful school. Welcome to another health and wellbeing episode with Mr. Zane and Mr. Liko.
Last time, we introduced to you the final part of our overall well-being. That is, mental well-being. Can you remember what mental well-being means and how it affects you? If not, let's head over to Mr. Zane who will remind us. Come on.
Mental well-being is an important part of our human development. It is to do with how we think and how our thoughts can help us to make choices and to face challenges on a daily basis.
We showed you a scenario where Renisha visited Headspace to get a better understanding of mental well-being and how the choices she makes can affect this. Have you ever felt stressed out before? Who do you go to for help when you feel like this? This is all part of looking after your mental health.
Today, we will learn about lots of different ways that people cope with their mental health. They will share with us how they turn negative thoughts into positive thoughts and who they look to for help.
Let's go and catch up with some familiar faces and ask them who they talk to when it comes to their mental well-being.
My best friend and my sister.
I talk to the people I trust.
Okay, my friends, my workmates, and my mum.
I talk to a lot of close mates and family.
My friends and family.
Student support and Headspace.
I can talk to my wife, I can talk to my best friends, I talk to my work colleague, I can talk to my boss, I can talk to my pastor, and I can talk to God.
I talk to my friends, my close friends. When I'm stressed out, I talk to my family, and most importantly, I talk to God and spend some time with Him for some stress relief.
This is a healthy way for you to improve your mental well-being. It is always okay to speak out and share your thoughts. So don't be shame jobby mob, we're all in this together.
In this next scenario, let's look at how not talking about your problems can affect the way you think and relate to others. Let's check it out. Hopefully volley and ages.
I know.
Yeah.
I can't wait for it to start back there.
When does it start?
On the 8th.
Oh, yeah.
All right, class, pop quiz time. Jump up at your desk. Let's go.
Yes! Come on, buddy. Pop quizzes are fun. Don't worry, buddy, you got this. You're gonna ace this test.
You're gonna get in trouble. That's what you get for running amok.
Why are you even here? You're gonna fail.
Buddy. Hey, buddy. Buddy, are you okay?
This test, I'm just not ready for it. I've got so many thoughts going on in my head. It hurts.
You know you can talk to us if you got something going on. I'm your friend. Or if you don't want to talk to me, you can talk to like student support or the teacher. They can help you out like that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you, Renisha. Miss, I'm not feeling too well. Can I go and see student support, please?
So you see there, when you can talk to others and share your mental thoughts, this is a healthy step towards improving your overall well-being. Just remember, it's okay to speak up. It's not okay to stay silent.
That brings us to the final part of our overall well-being. We have now learned about our social, physical, emotional, and mental well-being. Next time, we'll put all these parts together and give you a final summary of our Yirara College well-being model and how that can affect us. See you all soon.
Alright, now we've looked at both 2D shapes and 3D shapes. Hope you have enjoyed learning about this topic and can use this information in your communities.
Good morning, Miss Priscilla.
Good morning.
This week we're looking at 2D shapes.
Okay. 2D just means that it's flat.
Could you draw a square?
So a square has equal sides. That is my square.
Make it into a cube.
How would I make it into a cube? Like this.
So now, look at that. So now we can see the difference between a square and a cube. What about a circle?
Circle, okay.
Oh, that was good. Lovely.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Remember our lesson from yesterday? We started talking about shapes. Today we're just going to focus on the two-dimensional shapes. So these are the ones that we can draw on a piece of paper. They're not solid, you can't pick them up. That's a three-dimensional shape. So let's not worry about that today. Today we're going to look at the measurements of a two-dimensional shape. Remember the D stands for dimension, and we spelt that D-I-M-E-N-S-I-O-N. So that's what the D stands for. So 2D shapes means we have two things that we can measure. So let's measure this rectangle and see how big it is. First we'll measure the length. So if we place our ruler, we start with the 0 and it goes to 16 centimetres. So the length equals 16 centimetres. Now let's measure the height. We start again at the 0 and it goes to the 9. So the height equals 9 centimetres. So that's how big our rectangle is. I've also got a triangle here. You can measure the length and the height of a triangle And as you can see, a triangle is actually half of a rectangle, but they can be all different shapes. So let's measure the length. Yep, same. Length is still 16 centimetres. We measure the height. That's a bit bigger. The height on that one is 10 centimetres. So there are 2 dimensions for a 2-dimensional shape. Maybe you could try some of these at school. Send us some photos. We'd love to see what you've been up to. See you next time.
Hey guys, welcome to Yirara2u. Today we're going to be learning how to change a drum skin. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is take the old skin off. And the best tool to use is a drum key. Now if you haven't got one of those and you have a socket set, then the size that you need is 6mm. Okay? So these little sockets, they go on the spanner or the screwdriver, and you can use one of those. If you don't have that, then hopefully you'll have a pair of pliers. Now it will take longer to use these, but you can still use them. Okay, so when we've loosened all of the rivets, these things are called rivets. Okay, we take the skin out. We need to make sure that the new skin is the right size. Okay, so when we're talking about drums, we measure things in inches. We don't use centimetres. So an inch is 2 centimetres, or 2.5 centimetres. Okay, so you measure from there right the way across, and as you can see, just lock that down. So 10 inches, 11 inches, 12, 13, 14. So this snare skin here is 14 inches. That's the size that you're going to need. All right, so I don't have a new one at the moment, so we'll just use the old one again. Just cover myself in dust. Pop it down on top. Take the rim. So you can keep all of these inside the holes there, just so you don't lose any. And then you line them up with the holes. I also forgot to mention that before you do any of this, this lever here, it will be like that to start with. You need to make sure that's down, because that loosens the springs at the bottom there, so that makes it a bit easier to change the skin. Okay, so now we've got the new skin on. What we need to do is we need to tighten these rivets in opposites. Okay, so if you're starting with this one here, you do the one that's opposite over here. Just tighten it in a bit with your hand first. Okay, and then we'll do the opposite to those. So this one here, tighten that, and then the one opposite. Now we're going to tune the drum. Now a lot of people don't realise you can actually tune drums the same way you can tune other instruments. So we're just going to carry on doing that opposite thing, okay, but using the drum key. So don't tighten it up too much, because we want there to be an even tightness all the way around. We don't want it to be too tight here and too loose there, because that will be uneven. Okay, so we do this one up a bit. And we do that one up a bit too, maybe one turn all the way around. Okay, and then we do the opposite, this one here. Go around again, this time we can do it a bit tighter. I like my snare drum to be nice and tight, so it's got a nice snap. A nice tight snare will have a nice high-pitched snap to it, which is used in a lot of reggae and ska music and things like that. And that's the sound that I like. So, to give you an example, if you hear that getting lower, and you see if the sound is the same for each rivet. That means it's the same tightness all the way around. Now that sounds a bit lower to me, so tighten that one up a bit more. There you go. Sounds a bit lower there. That sounds about right. So when you flick this lever back up, sounds like a snare again. You can hear that resonating, you can hear that echoing around the room. So there's a trick, if you want it to sound a bit damper and a bit kind of like this, kind of more punchy, then there's this trick I'm going to show you, okay? So you need a bit of tissue, piece of tissue, probably don't need the whole thing, maybe half. So tear that in half, fold it into a square. Okay, maybe a square about this size, okay? You can see where I've done this before, this trick that I'm showing you, okay? And now you need to grab some duct tape or gaffer tape, whatever you call it. Tear a bit off, so that's probably about 10 centimeters long. Tear that off, make sure that's folded, put that in the middle, and then tape that tissue down on the snare drum. And you can hear the difference, that dampens the sound, that makes it a bit more punchy, so it's perfect for rock and reggae. And there you go. So you skin the snare and tune it. Thanks for watching, see you again next time.
And welcome to Yirara2u News. Today we'll be interviewing Pastor Basil from Yirara College. But before we do that, let's cross over to Mr. T for our local weather report. Thanks Mr. T, let's cross live to Will.
Today we're here in Yirara College with Pastor Basil. He is the pastor for our students here at Yirara College. How are you going, Pastor Basil?
I'm going very well, thanks Will. How are you?
Good, thank you very much. So how did you become a pastor way back in the beginning?
Well, I had to go and do a lot of study at a special, like it's a Bible college. It had a special name called a seminary. I had to study there for 5 years or 6 years, long time. But when I was about 15, I had a terrible dream. And I dreamed that when I got big, I was going to be a pastor. And I thought, oh no, that's terrible. I don't want to be a pastor, no way. And then I woke up and I thought, oh good, it's only a dream. Ah, great. Dad, guess what? Well, I had this terrible dream last night. I was going to be a pastor, but it's all right. It was only a dream. It's not real. Maybe like Jonah, you know. I didn't really want to be a pastor. And like Jonah, he didn't want to go and talk to the people. He was too shy. He was too wild. He wanted to go the other way. So for a long time, I did all these other kinds of things. And I went to the university, which was really good, and I learned about history and politics, and then I was playing in a lot of rock and roll bands in Adelaide and Melbourne, and that was really good fun too. But still in the back of my mind was this crazy dream I had when I was a kid, this nightmare, you know. And I was thinking, no, I don't want to do that, no way. But, well, one day I went to see a movie in Adelaide in the cinema, and it was called Romero, and I've got a copy of this movie here. That was the movie I saw in the cinema on the big screen. And it was a movie about a priest, a pastor, in a little country near America called El Salvador. And I watched this movie, and it was a sad story. There was a war there in the country, and this priest, Romero, he got in big trouble because he was telling each side to stop killing and stop fighting. And anyhow, at the end of the movie, he gets killed. But he wasn't scared. And I saw that movie, and I remember walking out into the bright sunshine. It was very dark in the cinema, walking outside in Adelaide and thinking, what made that priest so brave and so strong? I got to go and find out more. So then I went to the Bible college, to the seminary, to learn how to be a priest, to be a pastor.
There you go. Say to all the Yirara students out there watching from TV, anything you want to say at all?
Yeah, if you want to be a pastor or priest, well, it's a bit like Jonah. You might get an idea, and then you might not want to do it. You might want to run away, get on a boat. But then maybe later on, you might think about it again. And then you can go to Nungalini College up in Darwin or some other place. Take your time and learn about what's in the heart of the Bible, which is the story that God is always with us to help us be brave so we can stop fighting, stop arguing, make peace and community. Amen, amen.
Amen, amen. Well, thank you so much for your time, Pastor Basil. It's been great being here today, and we'll back to you in the studio.
Hope you all enjoyed that news report. See you next week, where we have another careers report. Have a great day. Keep learning. Bye.
Hello everyone, this is Miss Andrea. Talk me into it. This is your worksheet lesson, Persuade. Today we'll be learning about strong words and how and when we might persuade someone. Firstly, what does persuade mean? To make someone believe or agree to something. To give reasons for someone to let you do something. Have you had to persuade someone? Have you had to talk them into it? To get them to agree or let you do something? I think so. Now watch out for the red words. I'm using these words from the worksheet. Persuasive words. How to use them? Here's an example. You say, "Can I go to the pool?" Mum says, "No." "Why?" Mum says, "Because I will need some good reasons why I should let you."
I know you should let me. It is really hot. Then after I swim, I will feel better. That is only fair because I did a great job when I looked after the little kids today. Please, it is important to me and everyone will be there.
When you persuade someone, it is best to use strong words. I'm going to show you some differences between weak and strong words. Weak. I want to go. Maybe I'll have fun. Someone might be there. Strong. I need to go. I will have fun. Everyone will be there. Can you see the difference between the weak and the strong words? The strong words are more likely to convince someone, to talk someone into it. So I hope you've enjoyed learning about strong words and how and when we might persuade someone. Please do your word search worksheet for week 7 and look back at these words when you do your worksheets in week 8 and 9.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Stevens. I'm here with Yirara, LSO Daniel Myers to talk about who he supports as his favorite AFL team. Good afternoon, Daniel.
Good afternoon, Miss Rebecca.
So, Mr. Daniel, who is your favorite AFL team?
In my opinion, it's the West Coast Eagles.
And Mr. Daniel, what are some reasons that you support the West Coast Eagles?
My reasons are my uncles and family goes for the West Coast, so my siblings do, and just as the team itself, I think they're a pretty awesome team. They've got quality players all over the ground, and we're the latest team outside of Victoria to win the grand final. So.
Very nice. And Mr. Daniel, can you give us a specific example of where particular team players of the Eagles shone brightly?
I would say our defence is pretty good, led by the great Jeremy McGovern. That's who I try and play like. As I said before, we're pretty awesome all over the ground. So, in my opinion, the win-loss record over the last 5 years has really improved, and that's why the Eagle has landed.
So Mr. Daniel's opening opinion was that the West Coast Eagles are the best team. His reasons behind his opinion is that his whole family goes for West Coast and they are the latest team outside of Victoria to win a grand final. Also that they are just a really awesome team. Mr. Daniel backs up his reasons by saying that the West Coast Eagles have great defence, which is evident through Jeremy McGovern, and that they also have great players across the ground as a whole. He then restates his opinion by saying how in the last 5 years the Eagles' win-loss record has really improved, and that's why, in his opinion, the Eagles are the best team. So did Mr. Daniel persuade you that the West Coast Eagles are a great team? Were his reasons and his evidence convincing enough that you yourself would consider barracking for the West Coast Eagles?
Welcome back to a deadly episode of Word of the Day.
And today's word of the day is
Kwaja, meaning water.
Hey Moesha, let's go check out the water.
Don't you mean Kwaja?
Yeah.
Well, let's go then.
What? Is that all there is? How do you say water in your language?
Have a go at saying Kwaja. And we'll see you mob next time.
Bye.
Kwaja.
Kwaja.
Good morning. Welcome back to Yirara.